for tuning in. I know this is a pretty different background from what you might be used to. I want to start a new little corner or series on my channel called Chatting in My Closet, where I talk about different, mostly fashion related topics and things like that. I just want to have an open forum where I can talk to you guys and really start a dialogue around specific topics. And I thought it would be cute to actually film it in my closet. So this is actually my dressing area, as you can see. But first, let me set you down so we can have a more comfortable conversation. There we go. Snapped in. All right. So as I was mentioning, I want to start a new little series on my channel called Chatting in My Closet. And I want to, well, I've been having some thoughts and some general questions, and I feel like I can't be the only person who's thinking about these kinds of things. So I thought it would be fun to start that open dialogue on my channel so that I can interact with and have more conversations with a lot of you guys. Because seriously, like I can't be the only one who's thinking about some of these things. So that's the intent of this new little series. I'm not quite sure what the cadence will be. I don't think it will be weekly, but it might be like every other week or on a monthly basis. But of course, you guys let me know how you like the topics, how you like this structure, and we can always tweak it from there. And of course, if you guys have any suggestions for topics you want to talk about, then definitely leave those in the comments and I will prioritize to do those sooner. I do have one request, and that's only to keep the comments and things like that to be judgment free. I'm going to be opening myself up a lot more. I won't really be censoring what I say, and I won't have any judgments of other people's opinions. The whole idea is for it to be an open forum, an open place for all ideas and all opinions, really. I don't want it to turn into like a nasty zone. So that's my only request, that is that we can all approach this with an open mind so that we can have like meaningful conversation. I want you all to like think about it as like, you know, we're just like a group of friends getting together just to have a chat on a topic that we all love to talk about, which is pretty much fashion, luxury fashion, not just luxury actually. It might be all different aspects of fashion. And, you know, we're like sitting down, having a drink together just to talk about some things that are on our mind. Speaking of which, I have my drink here in my Tom Dixon wine glass. I'm normally a red wine or a cocktail person, but in the summertime, I definitely lean more towards white wine and rosé. So there's some white wine in here for me. And I also have my notebook here that has some of my initial ideas jotted down so that I don't forget some pieces that I wanted to make sure I talk about. So go ahead and grab your drink and come sit down with me. So for the first topic today, I wanted to talk about the game in the luxury shopping world. And by the game, I mean, you know, what it feels like you have to do to be able to get some of the pieces that you want to get. And I feel like more recently there have been a lot of drops, special collaborations, really hyped collections that have been coming out from a lot of the different fashion houses. And it seems really difficult to be able to get your hands on some of those collection pieces. It seems like the collections are super limited, like so few quantities of anything is available, and by the time the collection actually launches in the boutiques, it's like there's nothing left because everybody pre-ordered all the pieces that they wanted, and so all of like the coveted pieces are all gone already, and it's like slim pickings, you know. And like recently there's been the Air Dior collection at Dior that I think overall was interesting. Like honestly, I think that was a huge just mess, really, in trying to manage the people who were trying to get a piece, and the hype around the collection was so real, but they had so few pieces made and so many pieces that went out to friends and family and all this craziness around it. And then there's also like the Dior Stussy collection that also has been doing really well, and a lot of pieces are sold out pretty much. LV had the Nigo collaboration, the LV Squared collection, that was like gone in like 2 seconds, literally. And Fendi had the California Sky collection. Like a lot of these brands are, I feel like, coming out more with these specific drops, these super limited collections that they will drum up a lot of interest around, or they will team up with someone like a collaborator who already has a lot of what's the word, like already has like a fan base, you know what I mean? They're already recognized, they're already renowned on their own way, and you know, they're trying to like build off of that person's popularity as well. Anyway, so there have been so many of those collections. I mean, in the past, LV and Supreme had a collaboration that was out of this world. A lot of the Virgil collections are also falling into that category, I feel like. And I don't know how I feel about it, honestly. Sometimes I feel like it gets really frustrating, like as someone who's building out their collection and needs to really prioritize the pieces that they're able to add. You know, can't go buying like 15 pieces from all of the houses all the time just to be able to build a repertoire, and then I keep saying repertoire, to be able to build a like relationship, build that rapport, have that kind of purchase history to then be able to pre-order when those collections drop. Like I can't do that at all of those houses, and I don't want to buy things that I don't really want just for the fact that I might be able to get another piece from like one of those drops. And then it just starts getting really frustrating and really disheartening to try to go for some of those pieces and then realize that there were only 2 anyway, like to go around, and it like never was going to go to you anyway. You know what I mean? Like it's just one of those things where I'm like, ah, like, what do you mean? And I think my boyfriend brought up a good point, that he was like, look, a lot of these collections are coming out right as COVID was, you know, impacting the whole world. So that could definitely have an impact on the amount of inventory. They may have anticipated to have more, but they couldn't quite get it there yet. They didn't want to delay the whole collection, so maybe they launched what they had, and then with like the notion of launching like augmented part of that collection at a later point in time. That's possible, but I just feel like to begin with there weren't that many. Like they never really intended on having that many ready and available for like everyone to get. And I get the brands want to build some exclusivity and some hype around some of their pieces. I get that they want to, you know, maintain a certain brand image, right? That they're not, that's the whole point of luxury, right? Like it's extra special. It's not as easily attainable, perhaps. And it's just extra. I get it. I understand. But, you know, some of these items that we're talking about are like hundreds of dollars for like a t-shirt, right? Like that's not, to begin with, that's not attainable. So for the people who are interested in spending that kind of money on a t-shirt, I feel like it's somewhat insulting that you didn't even like try to meet that demand. The fact that you like, it seems like you decided on some arbitrary number of base that's not based on the actual interest or potential client base, and it's just like there's like two. Literally, there's like two. Each of the boutiques always say like, oh, we only got like one or two of these, and that's like it. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, for some of the like bags and items like that, I understand like it's not easy to get like hundreds of them in one store. But like ready to wear, there's size considerations, like all of this stuff. You know what I mean? There's always just like one. Anything I touch, it's like, oh, this is like the last one, or this is the only one that we ever got. And I feel like it takes away from some of the experience when everything has to be pre-ordered months in advance based on a photo, and you can't even really like, you know, see what it looks like, see what the material is like in person. You just base it off of a photo. You're like, oh yeah, I like that, and I like that, I like that, I'll buy it, pay for it now, and then pick it up like, I don't know, 4 months down the road when the collection is supposed to come to the boutiques. It's just not, that's not the kind of like shopping experience I want. I like being able to go into the boutique and browse. I mean, I know with COVID right now, like the whole retail world looks a lot different, but you know, in the past, that's what I really loved to do. Just going into the boutique, seeing what pieces came in. There might be some new pieces or whatnot, and then just being able to see them, touch them, and like imagine what I could wear it with, or you know what I mean? Like that, for me, that's the fun of luxury shopping. That's the fun of going to the boutiques. That's the fun of seeing all of those pieces. And it's like all these collections that like never have anything. By the time it's actually launched, this whole collection's been like pre-ordered. It's super picked over. There are only like 3 styles left, one size each. And it's like, they have, you know what I mean? It's just like, all right, so you drummed up a lot of interest around this collaboration, and it's like, I can't even see the pieces in person. That's just like, I know I'm getting really rambly, somewhat ranty about it, but it's just, I don't know. It doesn't sit very well with me, and I think, sometimes I just struggle with that, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm just bitter that I missed out on some of these collections. That's a possibility as well, that I'm just like upset that I didn't get a piece. But I feel like there's something a little bit more to why it doesn't sit well for me, and I think, and that's why I wanted to talk about it, because I feel like I can't be the only person who is not really enjoying this like drop style. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like my boyfriend's a lot more used to this kind of release style because that's how a lot of sneaker releases happen, and that's how like a lot of like that's how like a lot of Supreme collections are dropped. Half the time, you know, there's so many bots that are buying all of those pieces and then trying to resell them, right? So I'm not saying like there are tons of bots that purchase off the luxury sites as well, but I mean, some of it's possible, right? Or you could have people who are resellers, and because they have a large purchase history, because they purchase items to then resell to other people, it's like they might hit that like VIC level, right? And then they might be able to get all of those pieces just for them to turn around and really try to resell it off. And it's like, did it really go to the right person? Did it really go to somebody who wanted those pieces because they love the brand and they really like that collaboration and they wanted a piece for their collection? You know, it didn't go to that person. It went to someone who wants to make a profit off of it. I'm not saying that happens all the time. I'm not saying that's like everybody, but I'm sure that's in there somewhere, you know? Because you see, like, I mean, people are asking like I almost said $1,500 for a pair of Air Dior's right now. It's like mind-boggling. Anyway, it's, I don't know. The more I'm collecting pieces from these brands, the more I realize that pre-order is like the name of the game. You know, it's the way that world really works, which I can understand. And a lot of times, like, I will still pre-order pieces because I know I'd want something from the collection, and if I can, I want to be able to try and secure at least a piece that I know I will love without even seeing it in person. But like I said, for me, I feel like it takes away from a lot of the fun of shopping. It makes it into this, I don't know, it seems unnecessarily competitive, and I'm like, why does it have to be competitive? Like, why do I have to feel like I have to work so hard to be able to just get a t-shirt that costs an ungodly amount of money, you know? It shouldn't be this difficult. It really shouldn't be. Prime example of like having to play with the rules of the game is like Hermes with trying to get your hands on a Birkin or a Kelly. And some people have the experience where they go in and they constantly go into the boutique to build a relationship with an SA, and they will buy a lot of pieces along the way. I didn't have to do that. That wasn't my experience, and that might also be why I'm having a harder time when it comes to these collections, because I'm like, I didn't have to do that to get a Birkin from the boutique. I still purchase pieces, yes, but I purchase pieces from many different boutiques. I know a lot of people say don't do that, but that was the nature of how it unfolded for me. I found pieces at different places, and I mean, there's no guarantee you're ever going to find that piece again somewhere else, right? So that's how I decided to build my collection, and it still worked for me. I didn't have to buy like 5 million twillies and like 3 wallets and a belt kit and all these things that maybe I didn't want, but I was buying just to be able to build out my purchase history. And it's like I find myself having to do some of that at some of these other brands, and I'm like, not that the other brands are not worth it or that they're, you know, like any less than Hermes, but I don't know. At least I feel like Hermes isn't doing that for a limited period of time. You know what I mean? It's not for this like one collection where that's happening. It's just like for any Birkin or Kelly, it's difficult to get, and there are different ways to go about acquiring one. But it's like for these brands with this drop style release, it's like every single one is going to be like that. I don't get the sense that like they're going to release a collection where it just gets released, and you know, there will still be pre-orders, and VICs will still be able to have access to some of the pieces before everyone else. I'm sure you should treat your VICs differently, and they should get precedence, or they should get preferential treatment and things like that. I get it, but I just don't really see that happening anytime soon. I feel like all of these collections are going to come as a drop, as a limited release, and it's like hype built around it, and then no inventory to go around. I feel like I keep running in circles on on the same point of like what, like that I feel like there's just, I don't know, it's like there are 2 pieces of the collection left, and it's like, okay, go fight for it, you know? Does anybody else feel this way? Does anybody else feel frustrated about how some of these collections are coming about? Or maybe it's just me. Let me know, you know? If you've been purchasing from these brands a lot longer than I have, do you feel like it's always been this way, or has there been like a more recent switch to this style? What are your thoughts on these like drop releases, these very limited collections, these very hyped collaborations? And, you know, do you think it's working for the brand's favor or not? Like, does it change your perception on what some of these brands are doing? Does it make you more or less inclined to try to purchase from these brands and purchase pieces from these collections? I am super curious, because I feel like it's made an impact on some of my perception and my enthusiasm for buying luxury brands. Recently, and I think it's because I'm spending more time at home, I've been having these thoughts of like, what is all this for, right? why do I find myself in this game to begin with, and do I want to stay in it, or do I want to do something else about it? I don't know. It gets, sometimes you get those moments, right, you know, where it gets to you, where you're just like, I don't know why. But anyway, I think those are all of my thoughts for this first episode of Chatting in My Closet. I definitely want to know your thoughts on the luxury shopping experience and these collaborations, these drops, if you will. So definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I am going to continue the conversation down there. Also, let me know your feedback on this session, how it went. Do you like this location? I know it's a bit different, but I thought it would be nice to kind of change up the scenery a little bit. And also let me know if you have any specific topics you want to discuss next, and I will definitely keep that in mind. If you haven't already, I will link my latest upload at the end of this video. It would be last Sunday's video, so please go and check that out. There will be something new that I'm sharing there. And if you have any questions on anything that we discussed today, or really anything at all, feel free to leave those down below, or head on over to Instagram and I'd be happy to help however I can. If you like this new series, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate all of your feedback and support. If you haven't already and you like this kind of content, please subscribe to my channel. I post new videos every Sunday with some bonus videos during the week. So until next time, bye!